6:03 on Tuesday, September 17th. We're at 66 degrees. Expect highs in the upper 70s today. And expect some isolated showers. Good morning, I'm Michelle Basch.
And I'm John Aaron. The top local story we're following this hour, an ex-Fairfax County police officer charged with killing a suspected shoplifter last year is scheduled to go on trial today. WTOP's Neil Augenstein has the details.
Wesley Shiflett is charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless discharge of a gun in the death of Timothy Johnson. Fairfax County prosecutors say Shiflett and another officer chased Johnson outside of Tyson's Corner Center after a Nordstrom security guard reported Johnson stole a pair of sunglasses. Police body-worn camera footage showed officers ordering Johnson to stay on the ground and stop reaching. Shiflett fired the fatal shot and told another officer he saw Johnson reaching into his waistband, but no weapon was found. A grand jury declined to indict the officer, but Commonwealth's attorney Steve Descano impaneled a special grand jury which did indict Shiflett. The defense is critical, calling the prosecution purely political. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Will removing cash from some businesses deter armed robberies and dangerous situations for employees? Several D.C. council members hope so. WTOP's Luke Lukert has details.
The new bill introduced this week would allow select businesses like restaurants, hotels, bars, nightclubs, and entertainment venues to stop taking cash. A previous bill passed in 2020 made it illegal for any business to go cashless, saying it's a form of discrimination. That is set to go into effect next year. But the bill's sponsor, D.C. Council member Christina Henderson, says in a statement that many of these venues have been prime targets of robberies and thefts, which put employees at risk. Many of those businesses have even closed permanently due to the losses. Luke Lukert, WTOP News.
The D.C. Council is expected to vote today to remove Councilmember Trayon White from his committee chairmanship. The Ward 8 council member pleaded not guilty last week to taking a bribe to help steer government contracts. The council will vote on reorganizing the Committee on Recreation, Libraries, and Youth Affairs, splitting it into two subcommittees overseen by other council members, leaving White without a committee chairmanship. Council Chair Phil Mendelson says they'll hire an outside law firm to conduct an independent investigation into the bribery charge and into whether White lives in Ward 8 as required by law. He was arrested in Ward 6, where prosecutors say he was living, and White is up for re-election this November.
Would the wallets of tipped workers get fatter if taxes on tips were eliminated? Both candidates for president have made the pitch. WTOP's Kate Ryan asked an economist, how would that work out for the workers?
It's really complicated.
Cheryl Ball, professor of economics at Virginia Tech, says more than 1/3 of the nation's tipped workers don't make enough to pay any taxes. So Ball says the benefit doesn't make a difference there. And then there are debates over the minimum wage, and eliminating taxes on tips could leave those workers short in unexpected ways.
It's going to take some of the pressure off of lawmakers to increase minimum wages.
And finally, customers might be moved to tip less. Ball says with lots of unknowns regarding how eliminated taxes might be structured, it's just not possible yet to measure the benefits. Kate Ryan, WTOP News.
There is rain in the forecast for tonight, but if you're lucky, you'll be able to see a full harvest supermoon partial lunar eclipse. Did you get that, Michelle?
I think so.
So what does it mean? The harvest full moon is the one that happens closest to the autumnal equinox on September 22nd. And when a full moon happens around that time, the moon is closest to Earth. It's called a supermoon. Finally, a partial eclipse is when the moon enters the Earth's partial shadow. Tonight's eclipse will start at 8:41 p.m. and peak at 10:44 p.m. We'll have more info at WTOP.com.
Coming up on WTOP in Money News, robots could soon be preparing your food at this popular restaurant chain. Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.